All right, so we got another acquirement. Acquirement, is that a word? And can we see if the Doctor of Antique Restoration can fix this item? Let's see it in its natural form, and I guess we'll find out in a moment. And so this is an antique perfume atomizer bottle that I'm going to try to restore. It's probably from the 1900 time range to 1920s. And oh, it's beautiful. Boys and girls, look at this. This is cranberry glass with cameo. This is a cameo design on here. See how it's etched into the bottle? But what is it missing? It's missing its bulb atomizer. And I'm going to try to fix it. So today, let's find out how to fix an antique or vintage perfume bottle. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is try to find one of these. And it's really not many people selling these. You can find there is somebody on eBay that sells these. These are like $15, and you got to pay tax and shipping. But I found an easier way to get these pieces by going on actually Amazon and buying a $5 perfume bottle with an atomizer attached. I detached it, going to throw the bottle out because it's crap. But how do you attach it to here? By the way, it came with silver tips. This was all silver, and I just painted it. I painted it with a almost antique brass color. And I used Rub and Buff, antique gold for that. All right, so how do we attach this to here? That is the question. So let's take a look. This is an old dry rotted piece right in here. So we're going to have to get this out somehow. And sometimes by unscrewing it, it will come off. But it's not looking like it's happening. So I'm going to have to get pliers. A lot of you write in the comments that you cringe because I'm doing this on a granite countertop. So here's what we're going to do. Put bubble wrap under it. Unscrew this top part so we're not molesting the glass. And we're going to put the glass on the side. All right, so we have this... Look at this really cool, this little straw that would draw up. It's made out of glass. Draw up the perfume up into the mechanism. But we have to try to get this off. And this has dry rotted hose in there. I don't know if you can see that. That is dry rot. Okay, it's not budging. And I'm going to get my pliers in a second. But I don't really want to use my pliers because this is very soft metal that's going to bend. And so I'm going to take a little bit of WD-40 and try to saturate this area and let it soak. And if it'll work, my WD-40... Oh, here it is. Duh. Okay. The Doctor of Restoration is really not a doctor at all. I'm a fraud. I'm a hoax. All right, so let that sit, and I'll be back in a few minutes. All right, I let it sit for a few minutes. It would be ideal if you have pliers that have rubber on the ends because, you know, you really don't want to bend this metal and scratch it up, but I don't have pliers. It actually disintegrated, the little rubber. So lefty is loosey, righty is tighty. Always remember that. So we're going to try to go into a counterclockwise position. And the WD-40 is definitely working because it's starting to budge. Let's go ahead and try to get this piece off, this original piece here, which I saved, by the way, for future. I could probably get the dry rotted hose out and use it as a cover of some sort for another bottle that I want to restore. So here we go. We're going to go gentle. We don't want to squeeze this too hard and damage it. And then we're going to see like a little screw cap end, like a screw sticking out of here. So we can try to attach the new bulb to this. So before you, reassemble this or at least try to fix this, because it's not always 100%, you want to get a silver polishing rag and clean up the hardware. Sorry about that. The hardware that's dirty over years, and just go around it a little, shine it up just a bit, get some of the old tarnish off of it, and the WD-40 that you just sprayed on there, and just go around and give it a good rub. And then you want to buff it with the buffing side of your rag. You can get these on Amazon. These are very, very cheap. And just go around and give it a nice shine. There we go. Now, if your bottle is dirty, what you're going to want to do is get one of these. On Amazon, they sell assorted bottle. It's in a plastic right now. They sell assorted bottle cleaners that you can get inside of a bottle, a very small bottle. Here I have these silicone versions, and you want to clean in there and then completely dry it out. Okay, so now to attach your bulb, you could just sit here and pray because now you see there's a screw here. I don't know. Can you see the screw? You want to take this screw off. They generally come with screws, and we're going to have to do the same thing with the pliers again. So you're going to unscrew this, but save this because you might have an atomizer bottle in the future that you want to fix that doesn't have the screw on the end, and you might need that. So we're going to save that. Okay, so now we have the screw out. We want to save this for future use. I'm going to put that on the side. You don't want it to roll off onto the floor. Okay, so now you have this open threaded area, and you're going to want to screw this, and see, it might not even fit. So you might have to get really crafty, but pretty much these are universal, which is the beauty of it all. And so you're going to keep turning it until it completely attaches. So now your bottle has an atomizer bulb, and it's ready to rock and roll. Okay, so now that you have shined glass, you're going to want to reinsert this and just twist it back on. Remember, righty is tighty. And just screw this top part back on, and you should have a working atomizer. Sometimes they don't work. It depends on the little dipping straw in there. The dipping straw on mine actually doesn't go all the way down in the bottle. I don't know if you could see. It only goes up to about here. So this was broken off. So if you put perfume higher than the straw, it's going to work. But this is for display only in my case. Okay, voila. So now you have a beautiful working perfume bottle. Well, in my case, the straw is halfway broken, but this is probably a Moser glass or French glass perfume bottle. Now we just turned a $30 purchase on eBay into at least $150 to $600. And I'll show you some comparables. I believe this was made by the Moser Glass Company, and they were very, very well known for these cameo intaglios in the glass. As you can see, this beautiful flower. Also, some French maker by the name of St. Louis made these type of intaglio glass impressions in the glass as well. Also, other companies by the name of Baccarat, which was another French glass maker. So now we just turn this bottle into a really expensive bottle. All right, so here are the other comparables that you'll see being sold in these very old, beautiful Atomizer perfume bottles, probably made somewhere between the early 1900 time frame to the 1920s and 30s. You can generally tell by the way the top is what era it was made in. My guess on this one is the teens to the 30s, most likely more likely 20s to 30s. But these are very, very expensive for collectors, especially the color of the cranberry glass and the paneled glass. You can see the beautiful panels in the glass. And as I'm showing you the comparables of Moser glass, Moser and all the other companies that were making these beautiful glass pieces for vanities and toiletry sets made other things besides perfume bottles that would go on your vanity. Really quite lovely and beautiful. So here's a Moser set that is from the 1920s. It's a whole entire vanity set, sold for $650. Moser glass wasn't signed until like the 1930s with an etching on the bottom. Now here's an intaglio cut silver top perfume atomizer bottle from Moser, circa 1905, 235 euros, and that's about at least 250 to 275 US dollars. In this example on Ruby Lane, we have one of these that are similar, but this is more of a variegated cranberry for $195, and it's a French one, which is very similar to Moser glass. So here we have a rare Moser hand-cut miniature vase, encased pale crimson glass, another beauty. As you can see, Moser is very expensive. Here's a beautiful intaglio cut perfume bottle with stopper with the cranberry variegated design, and you can see the price is quite high. And as you can see here in this example, here are Art Nouveau era 1890 to about 1906. These are beautiful hand-cut spill vases with the beautiful intaglio design. Moser was a place in what we know today as the Czech Republic or the Republic of Czechoslovakia, which was known as Bohemia back then. And they didn't just make perfume bottles. Now, if you're a thrift store flipper, don't expect these prices on eBay. You will not get these prices. Now, I got lucky. If I was to sell it on Ruby Lane, First Dibs, or Etsy, I could see between $200 to $495 for this $30 perfume bottle that I turned into something gorgeous by buying it for really cheap on eBay. Do not think you're going to get these prices on eBay because eBay buyers are looking for thrift store prices. So try to understand that. Thanks for watching, and we'll enjoy another antique restoration coming up shortly.